Hey there. I got a Windows thing. But welcome to the Rambling About Stuff podcast. I created this just because I wanted to talk about things and, just basically talk and have an audience just to share. I don't know if I really have an audience. I don't really care if I don't. Um, but, I mean, it's nice to talk about stuff. And the thing I want to talk about today is mostly the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch has been around for nearly 5, 6 years at this point. I think it's been like 5 or 6 years. But it has been a long time since this thing was released. And oh my god, what happened to it? I feel like at first it started out as being sort of a console for everyone. You had your big Zelda, you had your big Mario, your big Kirby game. It went downhill very fast. I feel like now the Nintendo Switch is just a place to put ports and things and all this other junk nobody wants. And I get that, the Nintendo Switch had a slow start, but I feel like in 2017, like late 2017, the entirety of 2018, early 2019, I feel like those were probably some of the best years for the Nintendo Switch just because of the amount of content and the quality of content that was released. Now it mostly feels like that there's barely anything on there. It mostly feels like there's not much quality control. I go on the Nintendo eShop and I do not see very much of good quality content. I'm sure that there's good games coming out. There's the new Pokemon game that's releasing later this year. There's Pokemon Legends Arceus, which was really good. Um, and, there's obviously Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out. I don't know if Mario Odyssey 2 is coming out. I hope it does. Um, and also Kirby Star Allies. Or not Kirby Star Allies. Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That's the one. Jesus Christ, there's so many games in this console. But my problem with this is the fact that it doesn't feel like a console anymore. It just feels like a Wii U 2. And I get that, Nintendo was trying to redo the Wii U because the Wii U had some good games on it, but not a good platform. The problem is that it feels like there's too many Wii U ports. The Nintendo Switch doesn't have an identity of its own anymore. It's mostly just, you know, uh, old NES games, old games that nobody really wants to play anymore because, they're hot garbage. I go on the NES. I know it's something I'm complaining a lot. I'm really sorry. It's just, I don't complain a lot, kind of. But the NES, like the Nintendo Switch Online, in case you don't know, Nintendo released a online service. You can pay $20 a year, and you get NES and SNES games, which isn't a bad deal. You get them for free. It's $20 a year. It's just a fun little thing to do. The problem is that there's like three NES games that actually matter. All of the other NES games, everyone, Nintendo's like, oh my god, guys, we're hyping it up. We have like soccer or like something nobody really wants to play anymore because our standards have raised a lot as a you know as we play games. Our standards have been raised a lot. And that's another thing, is that ever since Fortnite died, there has not been a single game that has lived up to the hype it is. And I think that's just because Fortnite set like a reputation. You know what I mean? Because when Fortnite was initially released, it didn't really do much. It was a battle royale game. It was exactly like every single other battle royale game. But when Fortnite got good, it got really good. Like the skins were amazing. The map changing every week was super cool. Adding new items every week, that's insane. Do you know how much time it takes to make something in a video game? Especially as complex as a 100 man battle royale, and with a player base of like 100 million players. I don't know if it was 100 million players. It was like something along those lines. But that's big. That's insane. I mean, like the previous things that Epic Games worked on um, was Gears of War, which isn't a bad franchise. I've never played Gears of War. I actually hit my microphone, but I never played Gears of War. But I can say for certain it's not a bad franchise. Epic Games hit gold when it came to Fortnite, and they kept chugging out every update. It was amazing for a while, and it was cool. It was cool because we've we've like rarely ever had a company do that, to make a game as popular as it is, maintain that popularity with weekly updates, map changes, storyline somehow, and so much more. That's impressive. That is so impressive that I don't think many companies even dare to do that because of how risky it is. You know, because you put millions and millions of dollars into a video game to make it, it could be a big flop. You spend all this time and resources making weekly updates and making these new items and being innovative every single time, even listening to the community. That's something not a lot of game companies do, is listen to the community. You know, and that's something I appreciated about Epic Games, is they listen to the community. They even like acknowledged these streamers and they had fun with it. Felt like they wanted to have fun with it. I played Fortnite first in season 4. I didn't really understand, but it was cool. I got really into it in season 7 because the whole Christmas thing, and I like Christmas a lot. So it just felt like Christmas. So it just felt like Christmas was it was a cool time. It was enjoyable. Sorry, I just had to check the time. But it was cool. It was so cool. Season 7 was cool because it brought in an entire chunk of an iceberg onto the map. That's insane. An entire, like, quarter of the map turned to ice. That's so cool. And, and like, the game felt so innovative. When Season 8 rolled around, obviously I lost interest in the game because I was burnt out on Fortnite. I sort of got back into it in Season 9 and Season 10. I got really into it in, I believe, like, the second chapter or something. Um, like, chapter 2. Um, Sorry, this was originally a rant about Nintendo, but now it's just a rant about Fortnite. I'm sorry. Well, no, I'm not sorry because it's rambling. We're rambling here. um, I thought somebody was coming to my door, but Fortnite felt so innovative. It felt cool. They shut down their game for 3 days. That's ballsy. You have a game as big as this. You shut it down for a story. That's insanely impressive. Like you could say all you want about Fortnite. Epic Games like did amazing when it came to uh just doing the whole Fortnite thing. They did amazing with that work. They did insanely well. Season 2 was also pretty good of Chapter 2. It had like a whole spies theme. That was cool. Season 3 had a whole flooding thing. The one problem I have with Chapter 2 was the fact that the seasons went from like 12 weeks to 17. And that might not sound like a big jump. That's a big jump. That is nearly half the year. We had like we obviously had, well, no, we had did we still had 4 seasons in the year, because each season is about 10 weeks, and I mean, but um, God, what was I gonna say? I mean, season 3 was fun. Season 4, I feel like, is when chapter 2, season 4. Sorry, uh, but chapter 2, season 4 just felt like that's when it went downhill. That's when it went downhill. It was cool that the secret skins that you got in like the whole battle pass thing, you got these little secret skins for completing challenges, and like you never knew what it was gonna be, and it was always something lore related, so it was really cool. Chapter 2, season 2 was the beginning of like the whole crossover thing with the whole Deadpool thing, and I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool. I like that. Then they did Aquaman for season 3. I'm like, okay, it's a little more niche, but that makes sense. Season 4 of Chapter 2 was all Marvel. All of it. It was all Marvel. There was not a single original skin when it came to the Battle Pass, to the map, anything. It was all Marvel. And don't get me wrong, I like Marvel. I like Marvel movies. I like DC movies too. I went to go see the Batman the other day. That was really good. I'll talk about more about that later. But oh my, oh my God, Chapter Two, Season 4 was horrible. Well, in my personal opinion, it wasn't good because there was nothing original, you know, and that was my problem. That's kind of full circle. Is Fortnite feels like it's not its own identity anymore. It feels like it has to have these crossovers. Fortnite started out as a really cool game that had alternate universe traveling and end of the end of the world thing going on. Now it's yeah, so we got Star Wars and Batman and Spider-Man and all in the same game. Like that's cool, but this is a battle royale game. This is a battle royale game. I understand you want to have crossovers. That's fine. You can do crossovers all you want. Just don't make it abundant. Just don't do that. You want to know what happened? My friend, Michael, who he doesn't really talk to me anymore. Um, but he told me, hey, like I get you're not a big fan of these crossovers, but you gotta understand most of the install base is kids, and I'm like, I get that, but kids aren't stupid. The one thing I know from the internet and from literally everything is kids are a lot smarter than you think they are. You know what I mean? Kids are smart as hell. I mean, they aren't, the smartest ever, but they're pretty damn smart. They know something. Some kids know something. Some kids know more stuff than I do. I mean, it's not saying much. I'm not the smartest person ever. But like, kids know when they're being talked down to. Kids know when they're being appeased to. And I get you want to do crossovers. I get you want to have Spider-Man in your game, but if you want to have all these crossovers, make a game for those crossovers. Don't put it in a battle royale game where people can shoot each other. What the hell? Why is Batman using guns? That do- that doesn't make any sense from a story point. I understand, you can have you can have, all these cool, fun, interesting characters. You can have that. You can do that. But please, for the love of God, at least make something original for once. And that's coming back to the whole. I just ranted about Fortnite for a while. That's coming back to the whole Nintendo Switch thing. Make something original. Make something like Breath of the Wild. I would much rather have quality over quantity. Because Nintendo feels like, oh yeah, so we got this new platform with a big install base. Okay, you know what we gotta do next? We gotta re-release stuff from our older consoles, which is perfectly fine. You can re-release stuff from your older consoles all you want. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when it gets to the point that a Nintendo Switch doesn't have its own identity. You know what I mean? That's an issue. That's a big issue. Because it feels like I have my Nintendo Switch right here. I'll look on the Nintendo eShop right now. I'll point out how many games are on previous consoles. Right now. In the first minute. Okay, if I can't find anything, well, uh, yep. Literally all of these that I'm looking at right now are on older consoles. I mean, you still got, Metroid Dread, which I still want to try. How is Metroid Dread? I've never tried it, and I want to play it. It's Mario Day. Oh god, I've gotten distracted. Oops. It's Mario Day. I wanna see what games we got. Mario Kart. Mario Kart's fun. Uh, Bowser's Fury and Super Mario 3D World. Okay, I played Super Mario 3D World recently on the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch has a lot of games I've never played before. And speaking of that, I'll talk more about that later as well. But Bowser's Fury and Mario 3D World, those are fun games, man. Those are really fun games, you know? Like, oh my god, like what the hell? Like it's fun, it's enjoyable. Luigi's Mansion 3, I've never played that before. Yoshi's Crafted World, never. I played. I believe I've played Yoshi's New Island. I think I played Yoshi's New Island. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I've played that. It's 83% off. That's a little depressing. You didn't offer Super Mario Odyssey. That's surprising. I think they want to forget Super Mario Odyssey, but I don't. Not because it's bad. I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to. I don't want to forget it because it was really good. Super Mario Odyssey was amazing. One of my favorite games of all time. I'll also talk more about that later. Actually, no, I'll talk more about that now. You want to know what else is my favorite game of all time, or one of my favorite games of all time? The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I have been trying to get my girlfriend to say, "Hey, why don't you just play Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild?" I mean, obviously, complications. I'm not gonna get into that. That's more private info. But I'm just like, I mean, come on. You have a Nintendo Switch. You play Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Why don't you play Breath of the Wild? You got Sad Death along with your uh, bell spending game. Just Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is so good. It is so good. Like, oh my god, dude. Oh my god. That game is amazing. You know how you wanna know what Breath of the Wild right? You wanna know why I love Breath of the Wild so much? It changes Zelda completely. I have rarely played a Zelda game before. I've played A Link Between Worlds for a bit, and that was it. I've played the original Zelda 1, 2, and Link to the Past, and I believe Zelda 2. Okay, so I have played other games, but that's it. Those are the only Zelda games I've ever played. And when I jumped into the Breath of the Wild, I was like, okay, I know what to expect because I know a Zelda game before. It's obvious, that's like saying, oh boy, I wonder if Peach is going to get kidnapped in the new Mario game. She's obviously going to get kidnapped. What are you insane? But Breath of the Wild just destroyed my expectations because it, I mean, I was 11 at the time when Breath of the Wild released. I'm nearly 16 now. I'm going to be 16 this year. That's insane. But um, Breath of the Wild, just the one thing I remember about Breath of the Wild was, oh, where is everyone? Where is everyone? There's obviously, there's people somewhere. There's people at some places, but that's it. Where did everyone go? Oh wait, they're all dead, and that's what makes Breath of the Wild good. You, the world is empty. The world is nearly empty. There's still, civilization. There's still towns and cities you can go to, all you want. But the main areas, you want to know how many people I find in an hour of exploring and not going to any major towns? About 25 to 26 people. And that is, do you know how big the Breath of the Wild map is? The Breath of the Wild map is huge. And for those of you who have played Breath of the Wild, you would know. You would know how big this game is. So having 26 people and you're walking around for an hour? What? That's insane. That is utterly insane. Because you see all these robotic machines and you're like, oh man, why are all these robotic machines dead? And some of them are alive. And, those alive ones want to kill me. Some of them activate up and start trying to kill you. And then it hits. You're alone. You're nearly alone. And what hits even harder is there's not much music in this game. The Legend of Zelda is known for their music. Hell, one of the best games of all time the best game of all time in this series supposedly is based around an instrument. an instrument. So it's obviously clear that the Legend of Zelda series has a pretty important impact when it comes to music. Zelda music is a, music in Zelda is a big deal. So when you hear nothing, when you hear barely anything in a series that is so heavily impacted on music, that's eerie. That's creepy. And when you hear post apocalyptic, what do you think of when you hear post apocalyptic? Do you feel blood and gore and fire everywhere and zombies sometimes spilling out the wazoo trying to kill you, and you're trying to get the can of dog food, but it's not working because a zombie's trying to bite your arm right now, so you're trying to push him off. You grab a ladle, you hit him in the face, but whoa, the ladle broke, and now he has a weapon to use against you. So you try and push him back, you kick him to the ground, you curb stomp that zombie, you open the can of dog food, and it doesn't, and there's no can. There's no dog. There's no dog because the dog food was fake, and you're fake too. But that's besides the point. The point is when you think post-apocalyptic, you normally think zombie apocalypse, or you think like Doom or something like that. You want to know? You want to know what game is post-apocalyptic? Breath of the Wild. And there's none of that. It's quiet. When you walk around, you want to know what you hear. You don't hear music of the town that you're in. Well, obviously, if you're in a town, then yes, you'll hear the music. But when you're in an open field, you want to know what you hear? You don't hear music. You hear the sounds of birds and you hear the sounds of wind. That's it. That is all you hear. And when it comes to horseback riding, sure, you get some pieces of music. The pianist is still alive, but everyone else is dead. And your job is to fix that. Not, well, not in the way you're thinking. More so to save the princess that's stuck in the castle due to some giant pig who wants to kill her. But man, it's so good. And not only that, the one thing I like about the game is strategy. And let me sidetrack here. Is I had a card game called Elementals, and some of you may know that story because I've told it to a lot of people. I used to tell it to nobody, now I tell it to a lot of people because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of telling people the story. If they don't like it, I don't care. I don't care. But I used to have a card game called Elementals, and I had a rule that certain elementals of different types would have different stats. Fire elementals would have low health, but really high attack stats. Ice elementals would be really fast and always attack first. However, they'd have low defense and low attack, so they wouldn't do much damage. Nature elementals would heal you, but they wouldn't do much damage, and they wouldn't have a lot of health. Rock elementals would have a lot of health, but they wouldn't do much damage. It keeps going, and it makes you think like, oh man, do I want to use a fire elemental and take this guy out quick, or or can I take the next hit because he might be faster? So you never really know, and that's what makes strategy. That's strategy. And the Zelda games have never had that before. The occasional switching out the armors or getting a better sword for the. I hit my microphone again. I apologize. But getting a better sword or switching out the armors when you need them, or all that stuff. You want to know what you need to do in Zelda? You need to do so much. All your every single item breaks, even the Master Sword, the best weapon in the entire game. The sword that seals the darkness, it breaks. It breaks. Well, not really breaks. It recharges, but it's on a cooldown. So you have to think critically, and also along with that, you can use any of the elements the game gives you. You can, if there's a lightning storm, any metal, any uh, items you have on you that are metal, you have a chance of getting struck by lightning. So what you could do is you could use a magnet or your magnesis tool, which is basically just a magnet. You could drop that metal item on the ground, carry it over to some enemies, and strike them with lightning. That's cool. And along with that, you don't even need to do any of the things you need to do. You can go straight to the final boss as soon as you get, your as soon as you get your paraglider. You can go straight up to Ganon's door and kill him, which it's almost impossible, but you can do it. There's people who have done it. And I'm pretty sure you can look it up right now, and there are people who have done it, which is insane. It's insane. It's so cool. I love this game a lot. It's great. It's great. I've been replaying Breath of the Wild. Um, I'm currently on. I'm currently. I'm currently in the Yiga Clan hideout, but um, um, obviously it's a little difficult. I've never. Um, um, but it's currently in the Yiga Clan hideout. It's insanely scary. It's insanely scary because you have to be quiet. You have to be sneaky. You have to be a sneaky boy, and because you're a sneaky boy, you can't attack because those guys will one shot kill you instantly, which is no good. So you have to think. You have to put the bananas on the ground. They really like bananas. I don't know if it's a sexual thing or not, but they like bananas. So you have to do that. I don't know the ending. I think it's also a bad time. Well, I never beat all the I never beat all the divine beasts in the game. You get 4 divine beasts. I never beat all of them. I couldn't do it. I beat one, and that was Mifa. The Varuta, the elephant one that gives you Mifa's grace. But you know, you know, I, I never did that. I'm like, why is Ganon's fight so hard? You know, why is Ganon's fight so hard? I could never do that without, all 4 divine beasts, but I did it. And it was really good. It was really hard, but it was so fun. And I don't want to do that again because I actually want to explore this game to the limit. I want to do everything. I haven't bought the DLC. I want to buy the DLC this time. When I beat the game, I want to buy the DLC and play it through because I've heard it's really fun and really good. Um, yeah, it's enough about Zelda Breath of the Wild. What else do I want to talk about? I want to talk about the Warden. The new hip Minecraft mob. You know the one. You know the one I'm talking about. But the Warden is genuinely one of the most terrifying mobs in the entire game. You want to know what it does? It can one shot kill you. Instantly. Instantly. It can one shot kill you. Which is insane. That's scary. Especially for all the people who have hardcore worlds out there. That's a problem. You know how much of a problem that is? The fact that, the fact that you could die at any minute. If you die, your world is done and you are not coming back. So do not fight this thing. Well, that they're gonna fit. You want to know what they're gonna do? This is a snapshot. This is a test for the Warden, and it's already insanely difficult. They said that they were gonna find a way to make sure you can't cheese it, to where you have to fight it, and that's scary because I don't want to fight it because you want to know what it does. It kills you instantly, no matter how much netherite armor you have, no matter how good you are at the game, no matter if you're Dream Technoblade, if you're Stampy or Dan TDM, if you're is it really like niche Minecraft YouTuber, if you're anyone, you can get one shot killed by the Warden with 2 shot, maybe 3 shot. You want to know how many times you have to hit it um, in order to kill it with sharpness 5 netherite sword? 52. You have to hit it 52 times in order for it to die, and it's fast. It's that it can nearly catch up to you if you're sprint jumping. Oh my god. You know how scary that is? And along with that, you get an effect called darkness. You are basically blinded, and you have to be quiet in these areas where the warden is. Because if you're not quiet, you'll be quiet forever if you don't be silent. But it was a little ramble. I like the warden a lot. I have a Minecraft server called Nexus Worlds. I for season 4, when the warden is introduced, or when we do the wild update, if the wild update ever comes at around that time, I hope it does. The warden is going to be front and center. It's going to be front and center in that entire thing. And it's a little scary right now, to be honest. I played that snapshot. Do not play it. It's genuinely scary for the first minute, and then you realize, oh, it's a kid's game. This kid's game is scary. That's enough about Minecraft. I'm a Minecraft guy. I talk too much about Minecraft. I talk too much about the block game. You know what I'm saying? But God, what else? Genshin Impact. I want to talk about Genshin Impact. Now, I know a very specific person. I'm not saying any names. I mean, their name starts with an M. That's all I'll say. Um, but okay, it's my girlfriend, obviously. Um, she likes Genshin Impact, and spoiler alert. I just hit the thing on my macro. Spoiler alert, I've never played a single damn thing of Genshin Impact. You know what I'm saying? I've never played a minute of Genshin Impact, not from what I can remember. I've never played a damn moment of that game. If I did, it was like it's far back in my memory. That's it. But I've never played it before. I played it before, like when I before I left for California, which was just like late February. I played it. It was fine. Some of the characters were a bit annoying, honestly. Um, the game looked really pretty, though. I'll give it that. That doesn't okay. Just because I don't play the game doesn't mean I hate it. I don't hate it. It's fine. It's good. It's good. It's just not my style. But I want to try and get into it more, just because my girlfriend plays it. She enjoys it, so I'm like, okay, maybe I'll enjoy it. It's not my thing, man. It's not my thing. But I'll try and enjoy it. One of my girlfriend's friends, one of my friends, I don't think I know his real name. That's a bit depressing. Okay. But he plays it a lot too. He makes TikTok edits. I think I'll just type out his username on TikTok if you really want to go follow him. I'll type it on the I'll type it on the screen right now. Let me actually pull up his TikTok right now. Um, I have an image of it somewhere. Hang on. Okay. His name is really complex. What the hell? What the hell? Nope. Hang on. Okay. There we go. There we go. little plug for him. Well, there we go, there we go. But Jesus, but like I never played Genshin Impact. Half the stuff they say, I feel like I'm an old man talking to two 4 year olds talking about the newest iPhone or whatever. Like, yeah, it's got Glip Glorp technology. Like, what the fuck is that? Um, um, but but it's Genshin is a fun game. If you like Genshin, good for you. If you don't like Genshin, good for you. Don't bully each other for liking or not liking it. It's a video game about anime men or women or people or just anime. It's a game about anime. Well, not really anime specifically, just um, well, you know, it's fine. It's fine. Genshin is fine. If you don't like Genshin, don't play Genshin. If you like Genshin, go play Genshin. You know, if you don't like it, don't do it. If you like it, keep doing it. It's simple. It's not complicated. Don't make it more complicated than it needs to be. 'Cause it's not. It's not complicated. It's not complicated. It's not. It's not. It's not. Um, I feel like um, not many games that live up to the hype that Fortnite had after Fortnite got stopped being popular. I feel like standards and people are like. I remember when Splitgate came out, everyone's like, "Oh my god, this game looks so good." I remember I looked at it, I'm like, "This game seems really good." It's a combination of Portal and Halo 2. Some of Portal 2 is one of my favorite games of all time, and Halo is pretty good too. I've played Halo. It's fun. Um, but man, Splitgate is a fun game. It just lost all hype because nobody cared. Nobody cared. You know what I'm saying? Nobody cared, and that's what makes me sad because nobody cared. And I liked it a lot because the game died in like a week because the game wasn't receiving weekly updates. You want to know how many you want to know how many people were on that game? Four. There was four people working on that game, and then people complained like they always do. And then there's the whole that was like last year. Fall Guys came out when Fall Guys came out in 2020. Um, Fall Guys came out in 2020. That game was kind of fun for a while. It was. It truly was. It wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. And then the game died due to hackers and lack of updates. You want to know the one big update they made? It was a bug fix update and a big hammer. No new map changes. Nothing. It was this joke called the Big Yeetus or whatever. I'm like, bro, just give us some new content, man. You spent months and months and months working on this. You have a pretty big team by this point. You've made millions and millions of dollars from purchases. Just give us the goddamn stuff already. And then Among Us came out. Among Us still isn't bad. It's still kind of fun. That game, I'll give the people who made that credit. I mean, they made the Henry Stickmin games. People who made the Henry Stickmin games. They're fun. Henry Stickmin games are really funny. Um, but I feel like the one thing that killed Among Us was the Among Us memes. Definitely killed Among Us. Um, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. Just video games and stuff. um, that's about it. I'll see you probably tomorrow or next week if I really feel like recording another one of these tomorrow or in a couple days. Really just depends. Hopefully, I won't lose motivation over this thing because I really like it. And I sort of just wanted to talk about stuff. So, I'll see you all someday. And, it was nice rambling. And, goodbye.